Just in on efforts to avert a government shutdown tomorrow at midnight, and we are live on Capitol Hill, awaiting the House vote on the GOP's stripped-down spending bill, with the White House keeping close eye on the process.
This White House is committed to keeping the government open. It'd be a shame if the Democrats force a shutdown of the government in the 11th hour, trying to negotiate something, I would say, that would be irresponsible, because we want to make sure that we fund the military and other obligations and commitments. But this president is committed, and his team is committed, and we're pretty confident about keeping the government open. But again, the Democrats sometimes think they could just blame the party in power, but people saw yesterday who is doing the action, who is producing the results, and who is not.
Joining us now, Wright, partner at Forward Solutions Strategy Group and Democratic strategist. Rachel Campos-Duffy is a Fox News contributor. Welcome to both of you.
Isaac, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Rachel. What do you think, Isaac, of what you just heard there from the president's advisor? She says Democrats are really out to blame people.
I think I really don't want to play poker with Kelly Ann Conway if she's got that good of a poker face to spew that nonsense and not crack a smile. I mean, let's be honest, and not Republican votes in the U.S. House. It takes 217 to pass the continuing resolution to fund the government another month that they're talking about. Democrats don't have the votes to shut down the government, even if we wanted to. That's just complete nonsense, passing the buck and passing the blame from the party that has the power, that all they have to do is work it out amongst themselves to do it. It's unbelievable. You know, it's like putting lipstick on a pig. You can take it to the dance, but it's still just a piece of bacon.
We want to let our viewers know that right now House and Senate Republicans are gathering. They're going to be making a statement on this big legislative victory of theirs, the passage of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. President Trump is expected to sign it any day now, although that gets kind of tied up into the budget deal that we are discussing right now. So when they begin to speak, you see some of the leaders filing into the room. There's the House Speaker, Paul Ryan. When they begin to speak, we're going to take you there. All right, so Rachel, give us your assessment. This proposal now would keep the government open for basically 3 weeks till January 19th. Right. Some people say that's, you know, we just keep putting Band-Aids on this problem, but is 3 weeks better than nothing?
Absolutely. Look, there's a lot of provisions in this bill. The GOP is willing to get behind all of these provisions, at least in the short term. There are three things that are important. One is funding the government through January 19th. The other is disaster relief for Florida, Texas, and Puerto Rico. And the third, and this is the sticking point, is funding for the military. So the House has said, yeah, we want to increase defense funding, and we want to fund it through the year, not through January 18th, but through the year.
Rachel, I'm sorry to cut you off, but Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina is speaking right now. He had a big it's going to be signed by the president within a few days, we expect, but that gets tangled up in this whole government shutdown legislation, which we were talking about with Isaac Wright and Rachel Campos-Duffy. Rachel, you were in the middle of your thought, and let's go to you to let you continue about what you think that this bill is going to do.
Listen, first of all, it's hard to watch what we just saw, this victory lap that the GOP's taken. Quick comment on this. This is a huge moment, especially that class of 2010, 90-some Republicans that came in sort of with Paul Ryan as their leader. He's been working on tax policy for 10 years. They have finally done this. I talked to my husband and some of his colleagues yesterday. They said this is the biggest thing they've ever done. And it's so important for them to take the victory lap, not just because they've accomplished this, but they're going to have to explain to the American people they're going to own the economy now. We had 8 years of a community organizer-in-chief. The politics, as one member there said, the politics of envy and class warfare, and now we have the economics of opportunity. The Democrat criticism of this bill has been that this is a heist, that this is highway robbery. That's how Democrats think about your hard-earned money. They think they own it. And this bill is about giving businesses and individuals more of their hard-earned money back so they can grow the economy, because they're way better at it than the government.
Back to Republicans think that your money belongs to Goldman Sachs. They just told you should celebrate that if you're an American making $50,000 a year, they're going to give you a $700 tax cut. That's the same size tax cut, I mind you, Obama gave you.
Decrease in your taxes.
They're giving Goldman Sachs a $6 billion tax cut. What's the difference? Goldman Sachs gave $26 million to Republican Congress members and working people.
No,
we don't have the lobbyists to get that.
Big banks,
so we're left with the
big
crumbs at the
banks
table.
and big
That's not
companies
class
love
Hold
the
on, Rachel.
Democrats.
I'll let you respond. Hold on, Rachel.
Math.
All right. Rachel, go ahead. Your response.
Listen, the biggest banks, the biggest companies in Silicon Valley are all Democrat supporters. This bill was about the middle class. Look at the middle of America.
Hold on,
they
Isaac.
all voted for Donald Trump.
All right.
Well, we'll see, because you know what? Here's the great news about this tax bill. The Republicans have had a year of deregulation, and now we're going to see deregulation coupled with tax reform and lower taxes. You're going to see this economy absolutely rocket. As Donald Trump said, it's rocket fuel, and they will own the economy, and and listen, there's a lot of explaining to do. We have young people. More of them believe socialism works versus capitalism. Now they're going to see what a free market, low tax, low smart regulation economy looks like. I think we're all going to do better. Those kids are going to move out of their basements. Businesses are growing. We're already seeing, as you said, before the ink was signed, before the ink has dried, we're seeing companies coming back, giving bonuses, and we're going to see that competition for jobs, and that leads to wage increases.
Isaac,
Republicans are doing corporate socialism. 80% of the value of this tax cut is going to go to the wealthiest 1% in the top corporations when it's in full effect. At the outset next year, 50% of it. We're borrowing money we don't have. $1.5 trillion from my kids and future grandkids to pay for tax cuts for the wealthiest 1%. This is not right. This is morally bankrupt, and these aren't American values.
Hold on. We're going to have to wrap this
tax cuts for working people.
Obviously, the Republicans believe that this is going to generate economic activity that's going to bring in more tax revenue to the federal coffers. We will see. And
they've tried trickle-down economics and failed so many times. They think it might finally work this time.
I'll
Isaac
take
Wright.
the Reagan economy over the Obama economy anytime.
Isaac Wright and Rachel Campus Duffy. Thank you both.
So much.
Merry Christmas.
You got it.
Merry Christmas.
And coming